Okay, YouTube, I'm doing a little bit of a part 2 to this turbo rebuild. Two things I learned after I went back in the house. First of all, this seal here, I went and looked up the item description of the kit, which I bought off of eBay, and it says it fits 94 and up. And actually after 99, I think they changed them, which is what this seal is for. But it had everything in it. But it stated, this seal right here, which I cut, it states that it doesn't fit it, and it says for these early turbos with the smaller housing here that you just Permatex it. So we'll be doing that. It doesn't take much to seal. I remember digging some Permatex out of that right there and that. So I put a very thin bead of Permatex in there. And that should be good enough for that. And while I was importing my video onto the computer, I watched it after I converted it, I realized that I may have made a mistake, which is, I guess, is a really good advantage of making videos of what you do. If you remember, when I put this aluminum plate on, underneath that was, where is the old one? See if I can find the old one. Have you ever noticed that when you're looking for something in a hurry that it's impossible to find? This piece here, if you remember, when I laid it on, I told you about the oil groove hose and how it had to be aligned. And I had a line right when I set this on, but there are slots on the other side of this that fit into these slots on this. And what I'm worried about is that when I put it down and realized that it only goes on one way, I rotated it to align the hose, and which means I also moved this. And I'm so glad I watched that video and noticed myself doing that. So what I'm going to do is take that back off and check and make sure it's still lined up and put it all back together the right way. So that's all of that. And in addition to this video, I'll show some other things I do today, if I do anything else today. I just want to throw that in this video, and that's it for now. Okay, I just want to show this in this video. I got it apart and my instincts were correct. It did spin it around the wrong way. Show you exactly what I found. This is exactly how I found it after I lifted my plate off. This plate goes on exactly like that. You can see, I don't know if you can see down in those bolt holes, but they line up. This is the way it was when I bolted it down after I spun it around. And here's what I found. When you take this off, it's a little sticky from the grease. And right there is how exactly it came off. You can see that right there. Actually, this turbo is pointed in the other direction than it was in the other video. But as you can see, where my middle finger is supposed to line up with that oil hole right there. And it was on like this, because when I put that plate on, what happens is those keyways fit in these slots, and I spun it around. I thought that would be very good to put on here, just in case someone sees this and decides to attempt to rebuild their own turbo and were like me and never done one. It's just something to watch out for. It's just so easy to screw something like that up. So I'm going to spin this around like this. I see a little bit of metal in there. I think that was on my fingers. I had this clean, that's for sure. Okay. Now, that looks better. That slot is lined up with that. And we're going to go ahead and make sure this goes on like that. Of course, you got to be careful because there is a tension ring that fits in this bore. That's not being careful, is it? Okay, yep. Just try to seat it down there. Yep. It's on. It's good now. Should be good now. And let's see, we'll make sure this is going to work out right. Just double check yourself. Yep. That's supposed to be pointed in that direction from the flange. Yep. Okay, now we are on right. Okay, I just wanted to show that. I'm going to put a little bit of Permatex on this and get this all together. It's a good thing I checked that, and it just, I don't know, I guess it just goes to show you how easily you can screw up. That's all for now. Okay, YouTube, that's it. We got it all together. Permatex the housing, like I said. Fixed the mistake that we thankfully caught. And I guess the next thing for me to do is I'm probably going to take the fuel canister off. I have a new seal kit for it. I suspected it might have a leak. When this thing was running, there was always a puddle of what I thought was oil down in that intake valley, and from what I was reading, a lot of times it isn't oil, it's actually a diesel fuel leak out of that canister. So while this thing is apart, I had just as well be doing that. And after that, I guess what's next is, well, we need to sandblast that transmission crossmember, which I have under here somewhere, paint it, get it back under the transmission, and that way I can roll this thing out. And after I cover up all the holes in the engine, the intake inlets and the exhaust ports, I want to pressure wash this whole thing off while it's apart. Alright, I'm going to make that all of this video for now. I'll show the progress I made over the week. Hopefully make another video next weekend. That's it for now, and thanks for watching, and thanks for all the subscribing. Tell your YouTube friends to subscribe to my channel. Appreciate it.